Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the first Midnight Coffee in 3 weeks. It's been a little bit hectic, but as you can see, I've got everything kind of upgraded. I even dressed up for you folks. Tonight, we're having a 19-year retrospective of Fight Club, and knowing that this came out 19 years ago makes me feel a bit old. How about the rest of you?
Yeah, I was already a mom when this movie came out.
Yeah, I'm already old, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was like 11 or 12.
I was like 6.
Oh god, so when you two came out, this was like the edgy, cool movie to watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I was definitely the angsty kid that watched it every day for a year. Not even kidding you. That's a real thing.
Oh, that sounds so familiar. My son did the same thing.
And it definitely set up a precedent. It was a great comment on society at that point. I don't think there's ever been, it's like every generation has like a documented, work of art and music. And I think this is the film, the adaptation, only using the liposuction fat to make the soap. I mean, that was brilliant. But it was, liposuction, was symbolic, of the excess, that we live in.
He's literally selling rich people's fat asses back to themselves.
Exactly.
Yep. Quoting the book, quoting the movie to state that point. But
the only thing that I liked about that entire book is that. There was a crowd of people when it came out that were really upset with that particular scene because they thought it was anti-Semitic because the Nazis did the same thing with Jews, apparently. Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, they did kind of make that movie and American History X kind of close to each other, so I could see people being apoplectic about Richard Norton or whatever fucking, I don't know.
Edward Norton.
Yeah, thank you. Diva dude. I could see them getting touchy about that. But really that's, oh, is it? I don't know, but
Fire Prince says that the soap thing is a myth.
But
yeah, I can believe it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that's one of those Holocaust denial things.
Like, I've also heard that the Nazis used human skins from the camps to make lampshade.
That's not a myth. They got lamps out of them.
They definitely found lamps with tattoos.
Really?
Oh, there's one. There's actually one in a museum.
Yeah.
It has a number. They have the name of the person that belongs to the number with the lampshade. It's.
Oh,
there's
that's
a
morbid.
Permission from the family and everything. There's no weirdness about that.
It's morbid as fuck.
Oh, that is morbid.
Yeah.
The soap thing is most likely a myth unless they use the ash from it.
But that one is not a myth.
Well, by that point, you might as well. I mean, just a waste of good ash by that point.
There is one particularly bad SS officer, a female one. I think they called her the Bitch of Buchenwald, and she was famous for picking out specific Jews that she wanted to make purses out of.
Oh.
Shit.
She run through the camp with a whip on horseback.
Yeah, we need to get on topic again. This is getting very
Yes,
Yes,
the Nazi route.
anti-Semitic and fucking
We've
off
already
the topic.
gone the Nazi route, so we've got
1488 already.
The 14 words. The 14 words.
We have already invoked the Nazis, so yeah,
You upset the dolphin. For God's
Dolphin
sake.
is very upset.
Oh, hey, we got Dolphin in the stream. What up, Dolphin?
It's a delay.
Oh, so instead of skinning people, we're just gonna rape them now instead.
Oh, what are you talking about? the caliphate that is Europe.
No, I was talking about dolphins.
Yeah.
Ah, that's
He was
right.
talking about skinning Jews and making lampshades out of them with serial numbers, and then he went into the dolphins. So I was like, oh, so we're going from skinning people to raping. So,
Well,
you
we
know.
are on the right
Pretty
street for it.
much.
I do love all things morbid.
Absolutely.
But in terms of like, I remember
so-
it being literally like a cultural phenomenon for about, I mean, that shit lasted about a good 5 years or so.
Yeah, until the economic crash. That I would say.
Yes.
But you know, there's a lot of truth in that movie, and the book actually. You know, if you think about it, there's a part where he talks about we're a generation born with no war, men that never become men, that stay children their entire lives because they've never seen hardship or struggle.
Well, and there's no rite
we're-
of passage for you know a boy becoming a man. And
Yeah,
you
we're,
know,
we're a generation of men raised by women.
Yep.
and I
and
just
that
have
too.
to stop things to mention. Thank you, Blackout, for the money with no message attached. That's all.
Thank you, Blackout.
Thank you, Blackout. That was
Thank you,
right in the
Blackout.
coffee fund.
And he's got a point. You know, I think that a lot of what we're experiencing today with people being like overly sensitive about everything is just literally the fact that they've never actually had to struggle in real life. You know, if you've got other things to worry about, you know, other than what somebody said on Twitter or you know, like the most menial bullshit things, like even things they didn't necessarily say. Maybe they posted a picture, like the whole Roseanne thing, where they posted a picture of a Planet of the Apes woman, and she had no idea that woman was black.
I do know that woman looks like that character from Planet of the Apes.
Valerie
She totally does.
She does! It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with her being black. Why do you think black... I would ask that person, why do you think black people look like monkeys?
Oh my God.
This woman looks
But
like a monkey, so does the George Bush, and he's not black.
Maybe you know what I'm saying is that this was a predicted outcome of the movie / book. You know,
It is. It's almost prophetic. Pretty good
Yeah.
for a book that's really not that good.
The book was basically Palahniuk's way of coping with the fact that he's homosexual. And
Yeah.
reconciling that with with the fact that, you know, he's a man.
but
I know.
I mean, this is exactly what. Go ahead.
Feminized men, blah blah blah.
Right, and it makes fun of the whole snowflake culture.
Yeah.
You know, the
Does-
12
does it-
steps. You
Does
know,
it come in cornflower blue?
exactly. You know,
Exactly.
that kind
Yeah.
of, you know, and fucking, you know, all the self-help groups and stuff, you know, and that, you know, she was cruising them, you know, to pick up guys and shit. And he was, you know, he was too, kind of, just to meet people. You know, how disconnected we are. I mean, look at it, man. We're socializing. We would usually be hanging out with people in a room talking this shit, right? We're all separated from each other, and we're electronically joined together in this in quotes room, right? So we're living an example of this today. You know, that all that what this culture's devolved into, or evolved into. Who knows? You know, if you
Yeah,
look at it one way.
a bunch of anonymous people talking about their problems,
Yep.
and getting a catharsis from the sharing of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's you sort of just described the entire Me
Yeah.
Too movement.
Pretty much.
Is.
Well,
It
well,
kinda
no,
is.
I don't know. Are they having meetings and shit like that though? Me Too, the Me Too people.
Well, I mean, it's not
There's rape survivor
exactly a
meetings
meeting,
and
but
shit
it's-
like that.
Yeah, but it in a way, it's, you know, it's the approval that people are looking for being that way. You know,
Gotcha,
having the
right.
victim story.
Right,
you
the
know, which
affirmation.
is like. Exactly. It's what you get from being in those groups. You get
Right.
affirmation from those people. They're not supposed to tear you down, you know?
Right, right. Gotcha.
So it's those groups, but on a larger scale by a lot. I mean, imagine you put your story out there and then you get 2K likes on it and 500 retweets. That's much more affirmation than you're going to get from one person sitting across from you.
Anti-hero in the chat just identified a problematic part of the movie and the book.
Oh.
They assume Marla's gender. She did not have testicular cancer. How do you know, sir?
It's before the era of
women
that,
have testicles too. Yeah, this was pre.
I know, but
it would be more like a free bleeder meeting or some shit like that.
I feel like that line probably wouldn't get by today.
There's literally a feminist fight club, and it is the gayest thing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Not a good kind of gay, mind you. The kind of gay that gives you syphilis.
Yeah, it's badly inspired by Jane Austen. I think I've seen that one.
It is. It's really bad. And it's like, oh no one ever actually gets hurt. Then what the fuck is the point?
Well, and they like put on makeup and then they scream and they tear each other's clothes.
Doing this, we are warriors, hear us roar. And it's just
it's like pathetic. It was like a bunch of really fat girls screaming at each other doing modern dance badly. I remember seeing that video.
I had a terrible moment when I was watching that video because I actually thought one of the girls was cute, and then I realized she had a dick.
Oh God.
And I had a moment where I started to question myself just slightly. And it's not even the dick, it's that she's crazy. Oh.
Yes, she's at a feminist fight club. I'm sure she believes that vagina dentata is a real thing too.
That's the dog. Ignore her.
Well, I actually really loved the character of Marla Singer because, well, I understand.
Cancer, right?
What was that?
This is cancer, right?
Yes, this is cancer. Yeah. She was the embodiment of nihilism the entire time. That everything you do is useless, that there's no point in doing any of it. And at one point she's literally walking across the street where she's left her clothing in the in the laundromat and she's walking away from it, and he's like, aren't you gonna take those? And she's like, what's the point? And she walks away. She's
she was also selling the laundry. It wasn't even her laundry. She was selling it.
She was stealing it.
Yes, I get that, but you see what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, she leaves half of it because she doesn't care.
Marla is the epitome of a person who has run out of fucks to give about anything, including her own life.
Well, yeah, but it was a bigger reflection, more so on society, that there was nothing to necessarily live for. She has nothing to look forward to. She didn't strike me as the type of person that was going to have kids. She didn't really strike me as somebody who was going to exactly come up with like some cool invention or anything that would change society. So she had nothing. There was nothing, which is why she planned on killing herself.
Oh yeah, she always struck you as a character that was probably not even going to live out the book.
Yeah.
Or the week.
Yeah, because she was literally had planned to commit suicide, so she was casting off everything and distancing herself from her family or whatever, and she's ready to off herself. That's interesting insight. Instead of getting real help, she was doing it through.
Well, but the point is
getting fucked up and fucking
help
and
wasn't help at all.
Right? Yeah. I am
because
John's,
neither of them were living.
I am Jack's throbbing hemorrhoid.
Yo, Jack's throbbing hemorrhoid. That's exactly.
And
Dolphin, what do you think?
What does Dolphin think?
Yeah. I agree with that point, Dolphin. I think that you're absolutely right.
Anti-hero in the chat said Marla it was a way out, which is interesting if she represents nihilism. That's kind of the point of Nietzsche, of reading Nietzsche. It's not so much the meditation on nothing matters, so much as trying to find the meaning that find what matters to you, and working through life with that.
Grace also
that's
said
what.
Sorry. Donated $5 to say false accusers anonymous. Membership fees start at your soul, but too much time has passed for that joke to be funny because Streamlabs is being stupid.
Aw.
Also, William says, "Holy shit, that dolphin thing's annoying. Do it again."
Oh.
Well, the reason that I'm being so hard on Dolphin is because this was literally his idea. And he's not here. So. That's fucking annoying.
Wow. What about this?
MLG air horn, guys. So you know, I guess mostly, I mean, the whole tone of the movie, right, was that nothing really matters, and it's all pretty much fake. It's all, you know, what we live for in society is just fake, which is reflected in the end of the movie when they take down all of those you know, the servers for the credit card company and their buildings.
Because the money's not even real. It's just
because the money's not real. Yes, and you know, at least to me, from what I got from that was that it was representing a new start, and
yeah,
at that point, you know, Marla and Edward Norton, who finally realized he was crazy,
who was Tyler Durden?
You know, Tyler Durden, Edward Norton.
Yeah, the narrator. It's narrator and Tyler.
Exactly.
Anti-Hero is saying he disagrees and the movie was not saying everything was fake. I kind of agree. It was saying that nothing mattered. That's
well, if nothing matters, what is it?
It's
it's commentary. It's I think it's more commentary than it is, you know.
It's not about everything being fake. It's about being disillusioned with the materialistic lifestyle.
I'm literally quoting the movie.
It's materialism, exactly. Excess. The whole idea, you know, of
the indigenous handcrafted dishware.
And this phrase here, listen to this. This phrase here sums it all up.
I'm sorry, I'm a spoiled bitch and play your videos.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
That literally epitomizes everything about this fucking movie. Which is, look, I love this movie. I'm not disparaging it at all, but because there's so many layers you can take apart. The whole, you know, bitch tits Bob story and all the, you know, all the people that he meets, you know, in creating the Fight Club, right? In the book, you know, they go into the characters a lot more, you know, on a deeper level. You know, it's hard to do. Anyway, so I don't know where I was going with that. Like I said, I sound stoned, but I'm fucking not. I've been on a little sleep here.
It was going somewhere and petered off.
Yeah, it did.
It's fine.
Okay, sometimes the train decides it's going to leave the tracks. We don't get a choice, it just does.
It took off into the sky and just...
Going off the rails on the crazy train.
Wingardium Leviosa kind of worked, and it wasn't your fault, it was Seamus. So... Sorry. I know. But I did anyway.
Yeah, right. The bitch is Bob. That's kind of what we're looking at, his character and what all, you know, he represents.
My name's Bob.
Right.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Irate. He looks at
Joshua Janus brings up a point that I actually wanted to bring up as well. The whole Fight Club movie was basically about, do you want to live a mundane life if you want to have some action in it? And the guy has a borderline split personality disorder. That I always wondered, who was actually real in that movie? Was it Jack or Tyler?
Well, his name really isn't Jack. We don't really know his name through the whole book or the movie.
For lack of a name.
Yeah.
The protagonist, fine. We can call him the protagonist.
Right.
If
I am
he's even
Jack's-
that.
I am Jack's complete lack of interest.
Yes.
And giving us an actual name to use for discussion.
Okay. So
There's a
where were we
theory
going
that-
with that?
There's
Yeah.
a theory that Jack isn't even real. Or the protagonist isn't real. It's just Tyler.
Right. Well, that kind of makes a lot of sense. That the alter is the reaction to all this stuff that this person who's obviously insane is doing, right? But it's what's so it's kind of like, okay, the world's really what's the thing that's crazy. This guy's actually saying, and that's what's reflected in the behavior and in all the choices that Jack's alter makes, or Tyler's alter Jack observes, depending on how you want to look at it. I do think that right. The deal is like, do you want to live a normal life? And if you want more out of life, you're going to have to just get off your ass and do it yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. You got all these people stuck in these fucking eddies, just going round and round, stuck in there where they are in their lives, man. And all they do is just bitch about how they're just stuck in this loop. And instead of looking for real solutions, they just talk about how they don't have a solution. And when people offer them solutions, they say, that's great, thanks. Or they just say, no, that's not what I'm looking for.
That sounds hard. Just give it to me, please.
Well, it all goes back to the story in the movie about, what was that guy's name? Wang or Wong or whatever, who was working at the 7-Eleven. And he was like, what did you want to be? What did you want to be? And he's like, a vet. And he's like, go to vet school. I've got your ID. If you're not in school there, then I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the you should. What I got from that was, it was a point where he was saying you should live your life the way you want to live it, and not the way that you think you have to live it.
Right, and I'm going to hold you accountable. Right,
exactly.
By that threat, he's like, you're going to be held accountable.
Joshua Janus, I actually have had a lot of people do that to me. I gave them the keys and they just didn't want to walk to the door. You can lead a horse to water.
Well, that's I get a lot of people asking for this or that recommendations wise, and they never take it. And it's just like, well, why are you fucking asking me, man? If you knew that you weren't going to do it anyway, why waste all this time? Why are we jacking each other off? Because it's like, it's a waste of my time, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's easy to wallow in your misery.
Right. Well,
I did it for 5 years. I'm well aware. I think my gain is too low. I think I need to fix it.
You're fine. No, you sound great.
It might be through OBS, how wonderful OBS can be.
Yes, and I can't actually check, because otherwise you'll be able to hear my computer through my mic. Annoying.
Nice. Yay.
Yes.
You know what? You keep talking and I'll listen to it, okay? And I'll tell you.
No problem. Shit.
So-
I'm trying to think of something to say, and I'm just completely spaced because I've had nothing in the way of coffee or caffeine today.
Life in the modern world is meaningless. Find your own meaning and stick with that.
Yes.
Yep.
But
So
going
you're
back
telling me
earlier,
we're playing Minecraft.
Literally just
don't mention Minecraft here.
it's literally free drinking. Anyway.
Fucking Minecraft. But earlier you were mentioning the thing about men with no battles. If you think about it, that's still true, because even socially speaking, what battles are there left to win? We have suffrage, the civil rights movement is over with. There's nothing really left.
We
them
have
to
no
fight.
great conflict. That's why we have so much. That's why everybody's so dissatisfied.
Everyone wants to be great in some way like their predecessors were, and they have no way to do that.
Everybody wants to be special, unique. They want to be that snowflake.
Well, but that's a failing of entitlement, though, isn't it? That's a failing of of basically America as a nation, though, isn't it? I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
our coddling of our kids with this whole, we all get to be special. That's on us.
You mean participation trophies were a bad idea?
Oh no, never. Can't say that. Fuck me. Careful, you're gonna get us in trouble. What are you doing? Demonetized.
Politically incorrect. We can. We must take this off the air.
Yeah.
We do
No,
have great conflicts
it's
still to
accepting.
fight. The public has just lost the will to fight them or even to see them. Yes. Yeah, no, that's probably true because everything's gotten so soft that now that's hard. Really, the only great battles left to fight are military.
That's what she said. Oh well, that was out of timing. My bad.
Well,
So is the rib shot.
there is the struggle to live a meaningful existence in a modern society. And,
When everything is when everything is
just
given to you.
superficial.
You know what? It reminds me of the Wanderer's Choice by Murdoch, which is horribly racist. I'm just gonna say that right now. But it's the end of that video is the Wanderer has a choice between like two different factions, and neither of them is a choice. You know? Do you have a knife?
I do have a knife.
Nice.
I was cleaning my nails. Antihero says, Antihero says conflict scares most people. I think things that are difficult now scare people. We literally have stores that are named convenience stores. Everything is about instant gratification. Everything is about not having to lift a finger to do shit. I could go entire months without leaving my house.
Well, yeah, want to talk about things being set up for the convenience of people? Let's talk about Netflix and the fact that you have no use. You no longer have to interact with people to get any sort of entertainment.
No.
You know, you used to go to Blockbuster. You had to actually interact with human beings.
Yeah.
Can you even call that an interaction, though? Come on now.
No, you can't.
This teenage kid.
Even then, it was barely an interaction.
Yeah.
You could have gone through
Still
that.
it's
but-
interaction.
People learning out
and
the
it was
ending
all-
of movies.
Yeah, going further back, even more. There was a point where you didn't actually get things released on video. You just went to the theater.
Yeah. There was no way to watch them at home.
Yeah, the reels were limited to the theater.
Yes. But there was also the same generation that thought if you French kissed, you were going to get pregnant.
And this is where we lead back into the movie by cutting up those old reels and then splicing pornography into them. Just
Beautiful.
just 2 or 3 frames so that people see it but don't really think they've seen it.
And they're not going to admit that they saw it.
Because
Because
Disney
they think
was
they
doing it.
they might be crazy. There's just the off chance because it was so brief.
Yeah. So it festers in the back of their mind, you know?
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Dolphin.
Dolphin accusing me of degeneracy, I see.
No,
Dolphin know how it be.
yeah, Dolphin's agreeing.
You can thank technology and society for pushing it forward. The convenience, yes, that's kind of true.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. It's society's fault. We like, as humans, to have things be more convenient. oh no, heaven forbid we find a way to physiologically adapt to our environment like we have been doing for millions of years.
Well, all right. Think about this. All right, Timma. Think about if we had an EMP hit like tonight. Okay. All right, and we lose all this shit here. No, think about no air conditioning. Right?
Well,
that
kills every human being living in Florida. Thank you.
Well, it
Thank
certainly
you.
does put a lot of people in jeopardy, doesn't it?
No
Because,
right. People that depend on some type of electricity to keep them alive. You
you know,
know,
like life support. Yeah.
right? Exactly. Drug companies can't make drugs. Eventually, people that need certain medicines to stay alive, it's going to run out. We've become dependent on a lot of things, and that's because of the human mind. I mean, I think technically I got an argument, and I think I won it because I believe it's all natural anyway. The human intellect is a part of nature. So,
Well, yes, humans are adaptable, but I think that we have advanced with the whole idea of convenience and getting things doing absolutely nothing or very, very little effort that it's not good for you to sit around and be stagnant all day.
It's not.
Can
It's
physically
not.
kill you.
the devil finds work for idle hands.
We are not adapting
Yep.
to this
Well,
fast enough.
What happens to retirees?
They
Right.
die.
They die quicker
Right.
because they have nothing to do.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
They don't have something to do, or they'll drink themselves to death.
They sit there and waste away.
Yep, exactly.
Anti-hero, the problem isn't that we pushed for it, it's that we advanced way too fast with no immediate challenges. It's a natural, negative consequence of rapid advancement.
Right.
Yeah.
What anti-hero
Well, there was no stop and evaluate, right? Every time we take a huge technological leap, we don't realize we're going into it because it's the fucking, frog, turning up the water up slowly, until we realize we're boiling. Like cell phones and shit, maybe, the possibility of causing brain tumors and shit. That's just an example of that,
The march of progress destroys the human psyche.
Well, this is also correct and incorrect at the same time.
I don't know about that.
It has to do with the culture surrounding it as well. For instance, in other countries, they don't. There's a lot of places where they don't take their cell phones with them to dinner or anything like that.
Yeah.
And in America, we had, in the 90s, we really, and 80s, we really ramped up the whole consumerism culture, right? That's when Walmart got real big, along with Sam's Club and the chain of.
Well, I would disagree. I would say that began in the 50s.
But I mean, it didn't really get there till
it didn't hit overdrive.
It's really ramped up in the last 20 years.
No shit, man. It's like fucking Christmas goes on sale now the day after. I mean, fucking Halloween. The next day, there's Christmas shit coming out.
Yeah, we don't even have, you can't even get Thanksgiving decorations anymore.
Not anymore, no.
I have to go get them now if I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
And they're all pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is fucking harvest pumpkins. And you're like, really?
Yeah, everything's prepared for the holidays 5 months in advance.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here.
Well, for instance, the chain of distribution to stores has actually changed.
Mm-hmm.
In the 70s, they used to have stock in the back of their stores. So that they would buy, sometimes they'd buy 2 or 3 times a week. Now it's daily shipments, and they only have enough for up to 3 days.
And that's all stores. It's the only thing that doesn't do that is department stores and warehouses. Nobody
Even
has
warehouses.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're looking at.
Even big box stores have very little backstock.
Yeah.
Or none at all.
Not now, no.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the convenience came with the culture as well. In a lot of other countries, for instance, like in Japan, right? Something that's made well is still prized there. Here, you know, you get a lot of people that they'll, you know, oh, you needed a shovel. Well, I just went to Big Lots and got the $5.99 shovel, you know,
Right.
and in reality, what we should be buying is something that costs $25.99 and will last you for multiple jobs or
Right.
whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's
Brian,
Brian.
you know, consumerism being the culture.
you roboted out, dude.
Oh,
Yes.
did I?
For a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we lost the sentence.
Where did you lose me?
Like from the very beginning to the very end.
Holy shit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
It
okay.
was bad. It was very, very bad. It was just silence.
So basically what I was saying is that if you are buying a product, but you're buying the cheapest product you can, because your culture says, you can just buy another one. You can throw this one away as soon as it breaks and buy another one, rather than buying something that is quality, then you end up with a lot of problems, like a culture of convenience, rather than a culture of maybe repairing things that are worth repairing, or even having things that are of high quality.
So what you're saying
Did
is
you hear me that time?
yeah.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
So
You're
essentially,
right. We no longer have, there's no long-term value analysis for what we purchase. You're
No.
absolutely correct.
Think about everything you own in your house right now. If you threw away every single thing you owned in your house, how much would it cost you to replace it?
couple thousand tops.
Jesus Christ.
Right? That's not a lot of money
It's
for
not.
everything you own.
So
It's
just
about-
abandon it all and go live in a ramshackle, decrepit old house, and start a cult. All
And
right.
Or
make
maybe
soap
like
out
a
of
2-bedroom garden home.
Well, like, we have a bunch of stuff that's all heirloom. We don't really have anything new in our home. Like, we have decent electronics, but everything else is all old and heirloom, so it's kind of hard to give a monetary value.
Yes, I actually have quite a bit of things that are antique.
But I know we're the exception, because the reason we have all that shit is because we're not stuff people. We've just been using the old stuff because there's no point in replacing it.
I like my old stuff. I also tend to buy boots that I know I can fix. So I think I'm odd. But you think that because we live in a culture that literally is a throwaway culture, that there's no way to actually raise people of quality because we don't value quality?
I think that you would have a hard time trying to convince people to purchase something that is expensive but nice when it comes to the current way we live, because a lot of people don't understand that we have lost a lot. Your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to, and so a lot of these people, you know, if the amount that somebody used to pay in rent out of their paycheck was like maybe for a monthly value, you're giving 1/4 of what you make monthly, right, in rent.
Right.
But
Yeah,
now,
the rule of thumb was 30%.
yeah, 30%, 25% ish. Now it's like 60%, and when you factor that in, you factor in the fact that you have to have internet nowadays, you have to have a cell phone. I mean, you can't live life and have a job without those things.
Right.
It's just not going to work. So you have to have these things, and now you have less money to go out and actually buy decent gear or whatever you're trying to buy with. And so what gets mass produced and is more convenient is going to be what you're going to buy. And the culture steered away from this, steered away from buying quality items, partially because of these things and partially because that was the culture. Somebody saw, hey, I can buy a bunch of cups for $10, or I can buy ones that look exactly the same for $40. What they don't know is that the $10 ones are going to chip in about 3 days. You know?
By the end of the year, they'll be foggy.
Exactly.
And useless and ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Or have you ever gotten the really cheap ones where you just gently put another fucking glass next to it and one of them just shatters?
Oh, wine glasses, yes. Low
I've
end
had happen with
crystal
drinking glasses.
so fucking easily.
What wine glasses are you getting? You're getting the shitty ones he's describing.
No, low end hand blown crystal, depending on where you get it from. It is so delicate because it's so poorly made to begin with. Oh, it pisses me off.
No, I know what you mean. That's terrible. That's why I get goblets. They hold up better. Anyway, I'm not talking about dishware.
No, but I think this whole conversation is kind of revolving around the themes and the points of the movie and the book. So I think this Seinfeld approach to discussing like a book or a movie is a valid one. I mean, I think this is a good conversation about it. I think that,
because this is literally what the movie was about, these things, about materialism. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, the whole idea that something is not worth buying or not worth doing is part of the movie.
Exactly.
And tuba lizards. I work in manufacturing, and it pisses me off that I'm always out there reinventing the wheel to make something cheaper and faster. For example, a plastic shelf for a refrigerator, thousands of man-hours for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into making things for lazy people, isn't there?
Yes. And we all appreciate you. I like being lazy.
Yes, actually.
No one is willing to fight anymore. No one is willing to strive or work or put forth effort against something beyond themselves.
Unless they have kids.
This is why we have socialism. Gimme. I don't want to do anything.
There's a lot of people who are really, really lazy about the kids too.
Unfortunately, yes, but some of us know.
Yeah, actually, so what's really crazy about that is that if you are the type of person that's willing to put out enough effort to do something beyond yourself, right, then you're going to be wildly successful because you're doing more than anyone else is, or at least than 9 out of 10 people are. And that I've noticed that in my life. If I put extra effort out there, then I often get paid a lot more.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, right?
Seems to be. It's not always the case, but it does seem to be that way sometimes.
Well, yeah, but I mean, obviously, you can't work within the system. The system's not built for you to win.
No. The people that are built to win, they've already won. They were born winners.
So, I mean, think about it. You go and get your college degree, right? And your college degree here costs you between like $100,000 and $200,000, depending on. And if you think about that, and you have a high enough interest rate on your student loans, and you've got other loans for your books, because books almost cost as much as college does.
Fuck me, they did. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then you end quite a bit of debt as soon as you're done with your bachelor's, and either you're going to have to go and get like a government job so you can get some debt forgiveness via the government, or you're going to have to find some way to pay for that for at least 20 years, or what is it, 15 or 20 now? Because I know that they still do debt.
That.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And when you calculate it out, you actually make less over your lifetime by getting the degree.
So welcome, Panda HQ Scott. Thank you for subscribing.
Hey, will you wrench me, please, Thorn?
Say something, but yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Fighting is deemed barbaric. Struggle is beneath us. Effort and work are for lesser folks. Dang it. We've demonized and distanced ourselves from barbarism, and it's fucking us, says Antihero.
He's right on that. I don't want... let me put it this way. Working is for peasants, dude. Alright? We're all
You know?
royalty. We were all told we were princes and kings. Come on.
Yeah.
Dang.
I've actually never been told that.
Yeah.
Your parents never, like your mom never said you were the smartest kid when you were a baby and all that stuff.
Well, I mean,
Come on.
of course,
Your
she
mom-
said things like that, but she never said that doing a certain job was beneath me, for instance. Other than the garbage man, that was the
No,
only thing.
you know what my dad said? My dad told me, he said, son, I don't care what you do in life. And, if it makes you happy, you could even be a garbage man. And if you were happy and proud of doing that, you were the best garbage man you could be, then, I wouldn't, I wouldn't judge you harshly for that. Right.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have a lot of debt. Right. For how old I am, that was a rare message that people got from their dads, especially.
Yeah.
And then we have Auntie here on the other end. My mom told me
Yeah.
I was a heretic and bound for hell. So no, I was not told I was a prince or a king. I think that's the opposite.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm proven wrong by anecdotal evidence. Shit.
Yeah, no shit. I know.
Well,
No, but the vast majority, and that's kind of a reflexive, like, we have a couple of generations of people now that seem to have some sort of neuropathic fear of being alone in any sort of capacity, and they seem to think
Yes.
that all children in the world don't like alone time too, and we've built up this idea that we're all okay because we're around each other, and I don't. It just because there's other people around that makes it better, and we're kind of touching on that a lot within the way our public education system is working, where it's like really not even children can go to the bathroom by themselves anymore. They have to have a witness with them to make sure nobody else does anything.
Right.
Bro, my kids are getting a body cam.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
Okay.
strap a GoPro to them, it'll be fine.
Yep.
Exactly, but do you see how scary that is? Because I'm a latchkey kid. Fuck, I barely saw my parents. I was either at a daycare center that by law I had to be in till a certain hour, and then I was at home with the by law babysitter I had to have, but I didn't see my parents. And for half of that time, I didn't even have a babysitter. That was only till I was like, what, 10? 9? Something like that?
Right.
Tem is just going through
By
the
myself in
number.
the house.
Tem
We've
is just
gotta
going
be-
through the number of times she was nearly kidnapped.
Oh, that could have been it.
We've got to be sure that children never do anything wrong and never have anything wrong done to them.
You can't do that.
Well, it's insane.
Kids
It's
can
impossible.
figure the rest out. I'm gonna take these glasses off. Oh.
It's really, it's nuts because you can't have a generation that you expect to be strong and hardy and survive things and do stuff and be somebody you're going to be proud of if you don't give them any skills, if you don't give them a chance to learn anything. And we have an entire, like, my generation, Gen X, was a lot of latchkey people, so we turned into helicopter parents that overloved our kids. And now we have, Gen Z, which seems to be
Overloading
almost
the
common
kids.
sense based, but everybody seems to. There's still so much emotion involved that we fucked ourselves with it. Is what's happened, and it's been done unintentionally and unironically.
Remember when we only had children to secure heirs for the next and property for the next generation?
Have
Go
your
back.
kid live past 5.
No.
That was the goal.
We had like 20
Yes.
children.
Yeah,
we
In
had-
my day,
we
that
had-
was it.
We had 20 children and only 6 survived. Win.
You have as many
Yeah.
kids as you possibly can, with the hopes that at least one of them is going to make it.
Exactly.
I don't know. My great grandmother had 16 kids, and all but 3 survived. So I was impressed with that.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed. I was like, damn.
That's
And that was
actually
like-
a very impressive ratio.
World War I and Spanish flu, but they lived in the country in the middle of nowhere. They were farmers, so.
That helps. Yeah. Fatality rates for pandemics are pretty high in the cities.
That's because they usually happen in cities. Oh,
Yep.
Yes. Do I have an echo?
City living is we weren't meant to live in groups that large.
No, I don't think so. It is convenient though. Tuba lizards made me giggle. Pinochet was a good helicopter dad.
Thank you for that joke.
Nice.
Fuck you, I love you.
That was great. That's excellent.
Best helicopter dad.
I think there's been many parents that could hope and wish that they could throw the kids out of a helicopter.
There are days when I have to hear a Ugandan Knuckles themed meme for the 87th time in that day. Yes, I want to kill somebody now. Thank you guys.
It's just a noise. I'm just...
Oh fuck, he's laughing.
Oh no.
Tema's just she hears
Damn
the
it,
clicking.
dolphin!
No rapey, I swear. Please no rapey.
See, now we know how to piss her off.
Do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
I can show you the way. Come with me, brother.
Brother.
That's what I was trying to say. I came out of my
She is
bedroom.
not the queen. Spit on her.
We will find the queen.
I came out of the bedroom the other day and I was
Queen.
ready to tell the kids to go, like, get on whatever it was they were doing. And I come out and my 11-year-old stands up and goes, "The queen!" and starts clicking quite loudly. What the fuck?
Will
People
Honor
love
was
it.
Kids
asking,
sound awesome.
Will Honor
Go
was
Oh
asking,
my god.
did Tema not know the way?
They are assholes. You have no
Commander,
idea.
we have found the queen.
Oh.
God damn it. Hang on.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to homeschool a bunch of you guys?
Honestly, that sounds amazing.
That sounds awful.
It sounds awful, doesn't it?
Is one of them clinically depressed too?
Aw.
We may.
I think that's just me at this point.
At least the clinically depressed one would be quiet.
No. Then there's no clinically depressed people in my family ever. Ever in the history of ever. Like, we get harassed and poked at. They say, "What are you guys, Scottish Greek assholes? The fuck is wrong with you? You're so fucking loud." No. My family's loud.
As I am getting called in for dinner here. So,
Not a problem. I was about to
Spit
wrap
on
it
him.
up. Brian,
I gotta
before you
hop.
leave, do you have anything to shill, or are you still on a break?
oh no, I'm in the process of making condom wine.
Yay!
Well, go over to Brian's channel and sub to him if you want to know what condom wine is. I'm not gonna have
Exactly.
him explain. You'll have to go look.
Should be out in about 4 days.
I feel like it's self-explanatory though. Just
Yep.
that
Thug life, guys.
thug life.
Later.
Race, we kind of stopped talking about Fight Club a bit and just kind of led into the topics that Fight Club tends to bring up.
just
It was a good segue. So I let it happen. Irate, you have a lot of things
Yes.
to show.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing 4 Eastern, 3 Central, and 1 Pacific. I will be interviewing Big Fat Brian. Speaking of Brian, and Monday is Irate Mondays. Dude, I haven't really been looking hard at the news, so I gotta sit down and knock that out. But there's more Google shit is apparently going to come out, and some new Q stuff about the deep state. And then Thursday, hot takes. Brian and I got to talk. We were going to do 22 July, but it was a piece of shit. I think we're going to do Apostle. It just dropped on fucking Netflix, and that movie is insane. It's well done. So, but I'm not going to say whether it's a good or bad movie. I mean, you know, there's plenty of shit that's well done. So.
That was totally completely unbiased.
Yeah, and
Away right there.
I don't have a guest yet for Cream Stream, but you know, you never know. So Yeah, that's what I got. But I do have to slide too
No
because
problem.
my back teeth are floating.
Oh,
Right?
understandable. I usually
Thanks,
only run
sweetheart.
for an hour anyway. No problem. You have a nice
Cool.
night, Irate. Joshua
You too,
Janice
sweetheart.
is
Thank
asking-
you.
Goodbye.
All right.
Have a good one, man.
Joshua was asking if it's over. I usually only run for an hour unless we're really into conversation, and it kind of felt like everything was winding down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Egg, Tema, do either of you have anything you want to add?
Incoming ear rape.
Okay. What was that?
I know.
That was the music from the opening in Fight Club. Probably
Okay.
massively garbled by my shitty mic.
Fantastic. I wanted to play that, but I was kind of afraid I'd get struck.
Oh.
But I think it was
Sorry.
garbled enough that that wouldn't actually strike me. So, Tema, did you have anything you wanted to show?
Yeah, I'm hanging out over at Mad Dodge Productions right now doing politically stuff these days and history and whatever random weird crap we end up getting stuck talking about and bickering with people like Cabbage Patch Bastard and stupid stuff like that. I'm trying to revamp my own channel and figure out what I'm going to do. Thanks to Irate, I have the money to go get myself a chair, so I will be able to start recording videos again because I've been having logistical issues with all of that. Other than that, you can catch me with Damus Anubis, aka James Jones, and King's Knight on Plain Discord is the name of the channel. It's called Conjecture. I'm gonna harass those boys on Mondays and Wednesdays, 6:30 Central or Pacific time. As much as I can, I'm gonna be there with those two guys, and if you haven't checked them out, you need to because they're amazing. Go look for Plain Discord on YouTube. They're just fantastic guys. These two of the best guys to stream with ever. So just go sub to them individually and to Plain Discord and watch Conjecture. That's it for me.
Right. So, in my case, I'm planning on doing possibly a few unplanned, just tossed up there streams at some point this week. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Possibly playing Vampire. And also I'm working on the third installment of my Ambulance series, so be sure to check that out. I'm actually quite proud of that. Tuba Lizard was asking what's wrong with my teeth. There's nothing wrong with my teeth. The things are just fine, thank you. But that's about it.
That's just racist against vampires too.
Yes, that is undeadist. Tuba Lizards. We don't tolerate that here.
As a Nosferatu, I take great offense.
Oh, no.
Yes, Ray's actually bought me Vampire, the game, so I think I might stream that.
Nice.
Seems
Sounds
it seems fitting.
Yes, no, that'd be cool. I might actually tune in to watch that.
As soon as I figure out how to stream a game, that will be you can see I've set up and everything. All I need to do is move a few things around, and I think as I point to the screen you can't see. But yes, as soon as I get that set up. I'm sorry, I'm 200 years old. It's a miracle I can even get this working.
This is true.
I existed before electricity. I'm ending the stream. Alright. Good night. Good night, everyone.